Hello, you guys. Welcome back. Happy 2026 officially. This is the first episode we're actually recording in the new year. And I decided that I was going to kind of update my vision board this year. I typically do this about once a year, but last year was a very interesting year where a lot of my vision board and like goals and all that kind of stuff were like a 3-year plan back when I started my business 3 years ago. So I actually created like a 3-year vision board for this coming year because a lot of the goals and things that I have are relevant for the next 3 years. And I posted on Instagram and I got a lot of DMs. I got a lot of DMs saying, where are you gonna move in a couple years? Like what's going on with the business? Like what is actually happening? Now we did do an episode on like the direction we're taking by the Blazer next year, but this is going to be a little bit more of just like my personal vision board. So if you are like a nosy fucking Nelly, this is your episode because I'm gonna be giving you guys a little bit of an inside scoop. So I'm gonna go through, I literally made this on Canva. It's super cute. I also have it as the background of my phone. Don't scroll in. I can't share some of it in full detail, but you can make a vision board on Canva. I personally like doing it on Canva because what I personally do is I have it at the background of my computer. So every single day I look at it. If you're one of those people who doesn't want to like tape a vision board like inside your closet or some weird shit, or I post it on my computer as my background. And then I also make a iPhone version of it and you can literally just put it as the background of your iPhone. And so I look at like the main part of my goals that are like in the center and I stare at them. Now the vision board in total, as far as like the view of it, the energy of it, the tone of it, is very like sexy, rich person vibes. And what I mean by that is like, I have a picture of a yacht. I have a picture of caviar. I have a picture of, you know, a girl in a basically fur coat and nothing else laying in like Aspen. Like I have suits, I have a Porsche, like it's very bougie, rich girl, which is interesting because my vision board 3 years ago was a little bit more like wholesome. Not like being rich isn't wholesome, but like it just didn't have the same bougie vibes. It had more like career stuff, like me speaking on stages, and although those things are all really, really important, I personally feel like I'm in an era right now where my energy is actually the driving force of my success, not necessarily like the actions that I'm taking, if that makes sense. Like even 3 years ago, standing on like a stage, like that was a vision, or like being on TikTok or followers, like that kind of stuff I cared about more. My vision right now is a lot more about, I mean, there's some of that, but my vision a lot more is like, what do I want my 40s to look like? And what am I doing now to fund my 40s? So I'm 33, I will be 34 in August, Leo baby, 2026, year of the Leo. I've talked about this so much, but I can feel it. Like there is a shift that happened yesterday where I woke up and I was like, everything's gonna work out this year and I don't even care how it happens. Like it's just gonna happen. That's how I feel right now. So year of the Leo, it's gonna be great. It's actually not, it's like year of like Leo, Aries, Taurus, like there's like 10 of them. I don't even fucking know, but Leo's on there. So we're gonna have a great year. But my vision board right now is very much like, what is the vibe of what am I doing now to basically fund what I want in 3 to 6 years? So let's kind of go through these and I'll give you guys a little bit of an inside scoop on them. But the first one is to have $1 million in my retirement investment. So here is the deal. I've been investing since I have been 18 years old. I started investing at 18. That money that I put in an investment account grew 6 times over for the 4 years I was in college. And then I graduated from college. I paid my parents rent for several months while I was house hunting. I started house hunting right out of school, and a couple months into paying my parents rent and house hunting, the money that I had saved from my new full-time job that I got that summer, plus the investment accounts that I had, totaled around $28,000 to $30,000. I always forget the exact number, but it was basically that amount of money. And I used that as a down payment for my first house, which was around $250,000 when I was 22 going on 23. So my first house, $250,000, bought it by myself, didn't get any money from anyone else. It was all my own money. And then I used that house that I then lived in for 4 years to take that down payment plus some Paycom stock, which is the company I was working at the time. And I used that to buy my dream house at 27. When I say dream house, it was pretty fucking close to a dream house, which was kind of insane to have at 27. And then of course, this past year, as you guys know, I moved to Chicago. So I sold my house. I had equity in that house. And then I put that equity into the market. Now the money that I put in the market is in just a traditional brokerage account, but I do have old 401ks. We're setting up a 401k or solo 401k for my business this year. And then I have other retirement accounts. A lot of my wealth is not in retirement accounts. It's in different funds and different accounts for different purposes. So my bank account set up, right? I obviously have business accounts and personal, but I have savings accounts and I have investment accounts. My savings accounts, I have one for my taxes. I have one for like big purchases in the year. Like I'm talking like if I went and bought a car or something else, I'd probably pull that out of savings. And then I have an emergency fund that I basically just don't touch. And then in my investment accounts, I have a house fund, which I just opened this 2 months ago. So I have a house fund, which I'll talk about in a second. I have a couple retirement accounts, and then I have my just traditional brokerage account. That's where a lot of my house money went. And that account is for like whatever I want it to be. So that could actually be like a house fund in the future if I wanted, but I specifically want my retirement accounts to grow to $1 million. Now, because of other initiatives I have, will this happen in 3 years? I don't really know. It could, depending on how good the business does. But because I'm funding a house fund, the retirement account having $1 million in my retirement specific account, like I'm talking no other account, just retirement, I think I'll have by like late 30s and 40s, which will be amazing because that account will basically just continue to grow. And that won't include like a future house that I have where I'll have equity. It doesn't include other investment accounts. So we're really just focused on growing the net worth right now, but not necessarily just so I can be like, look how big my net worth is. It's very much for intentionally like where I want my business to go, how much income I'm gonna have, all that stuff. So that's the first goal, is have 1 million in my retirement accounts. Again, this is like a 3-year vision board, but that might be a little bit longer, just kind of depending. But that is like a very, very, very big goal of mine because I don't touch that money. And so it just continues to grow without me doing anything. The second goal is to invest $30,000 per month in the market. Now, these goals are a little bit intimidating to talk about because I know that these are very big numbers. And I know that a lot of people are gonna be like, 30K a month is like half of my year salary. So like, I get it, I understand, but also like, this is my podcast where I'm trying to be as direct and as transparent as possible. So like, either hate me, block me, leave me alone, or be like, I'd love to do that in a couple of years. How is Ashley doing this? So $30,000 a month. Why am I choosing $30,000 a month? So one of my big goals in a couple of years that is later on this vision board is buying kind of like a forever home. And the $30,000 a month is actually not for retirement. That is specifically for a home fund, because as I'm looking at bigger and bigger homes, something that's very important to me always is cash flow. Like if you're a client of mine, you don't have to pay in full for my programs. You don't have to put down a big down payment on my programs. Like I am very, very cash flow intentional. And when I'm looking at massive homes, I'm like, wait a second, if I have only, let's say $300K to put down on a big home, my monthly payment would be like $12K a month. Regardless if I can pay that or not, I don't want to make a $12K per month commitment for the next 30 years of my life. So for me, it's very, very important that I am able to put down a massive down payment for a future home, if that is the situation that I'll be in a couple of years, with the idea that I would never pay more than like, let's say 4 to 5K per month for a house, knowing that my business will continue to be hopefully successful. And then I could be out of mortgage debt in like, let's say 5 to 6 years. So that is kind of my goal right now, specifically for a future house fund, $30,000 per month. And we started that basically like that official number. We started that and we are at $15,000 already for January, and it is currently January 2nd. So that is not too bad. So we are doing very well for January's plan, and I am hoping that that continues. So that is goal number 2. Goal number 3 is about business. So I put down $200,000 cash per month, but that is not just by the Blazer. That is across all businesses. So in 2026, we're launching a second business actually pretty soon, which I'm excited about. I don't have a big vision for that business as far as general revenue, but I am hoping that business can do, let's say 100 to 150K this year. I'm talking like literally just profit, like just an extra 150K that I can use for the house fund, meaning that by the Blazer, other initiatives and stuff, we can reinvest back into that business. But that is kind of where we're going. When we're looking at a $2 million cash year, that basically is just under $200,000 a month. So that is where we are needing to be. Now, we've had to basically make decisions in 24 and 5, where we've had to cut things in order to make room and capacity for other things. We're now starting to see the impact of that, meaning our business is growing because of things that we cut and refined this year. So we had to take kind of an income cut, a revenue cut this year to basically allow the business to grow. And now we're seeing that happen. So I'm very excited because our cash flow is going up, our expenses are going down, like a lot of good things are happening, but that is where we are hoping to go for the business, with number 4 being, we really want to focus on becoming a little bit more global this year. So we're doing a massive event. We have women from all across the country coming and also globally coming. We are going to be pushing a lot of TikTok content this year. I have made a personal goal of 3 TikToks a day, every single day of 2026, which is something that I used to do no problem, but it's a totally new initiative when you also have 40 clients and we do Instagram and I sell on stories every day. Like when I did TikTok 3 years ago, I didn't also do Instagram. So for me as a solopreneur with a team of one, have to basically push out 8 pieces of content a day, that's a lot. So that is a very big push, but I am hoping that our TikTok presence will grow this year. I'm hoping that our global impact will grow this year. And of course, then that will help with the growth of the business. So that is number 4. Number 5 for me is owning a dream house in, how do you do that like beep noise? Like beep, 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 dream home and beep, 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 beep. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you where. I'm not gonna tell you where, not because it's like a big secret. Like I'm not like moving to like London or something or whatever. And this could maybe not happen. Like here's the deal, it could maybe not happen. But Brendan is at this point in my life, unless he royally fucks up, which he's not planning on. But you know what? Like, you never say never. Just kidding. Brendan, my boyfriend, is just the absolute greatest thing that has ever happened to me. We've gone through a lot in the last 2 years as far as just like learning how each other communicates. We've moved in together. We are kind of thinking about where we would like to take our life. And when I met him, he was very much like, I want to live in the country. And I was like, well, I want to live in the city. And he was like, well, I'll live in the city if that's something you want to do. And when we moved to Chicago, it was very much always going to be like a 3-year plan. Like we moved to Chicago saying, let's give Chicago a 3-year like run of, I want to do the city thing. I want to walk and get coffee every single day. Goddess and the baker, thank you. You're going to take $8,000 on my bank account this year on fucking ham and cheese croissants. But I love, love, love being in the city. We genuinely love it so much. Will we buy here? Will we live here? I don't know. But there's been a couple places we've talked about that is closer to his family, that I think is more up and coming, that I think allows us to be in a place where I can feel like a booming, growing energy, but also gives him the space and land and lakes and whatever that he's looking for. I've always wanted to live off of a lake house. So I specifically have some beautiful photos of my dream house in our future, I think, city. I could be wrong on that, but I think I'm not wrong on that. And I would say 90% of it is what I want, 110% is what he wants. But that difference is the easiest thing that I'll probably ever do, because I'm just at this point in life where like I can work from anywhere, I can live from anywhere. I want to be happy, but just as much as I want to be happy, I want him to be happy. And I'm really excited for the opportunity to do something that is going to make him so happy, that I also know is going to make me happy. And for us to be so different as people, but have such a clear vision together of what we want, that I'm so on board with and he's so excited about, like that is really cool. And I never thought I was going to have that in my life, because I never thought I was going to find someone like him. Half because I thought I didn't deserve it, and half because I just always thought that I was such a fucking hot mess express of a psycho type A Leo obsessed freak of nature, that I just never thought that someone would like fuel my creative energy, high, fast-paced spirit of like the city, while also being able to be someone that I could just like sit on by a lake near and like, wear a American sweatshirt and throw my hair up and like drink a coffee and just be like, life is great. Like life is so simple and great. And I think that he gives me the best of both worlds, which I never thought I was gonna have. And right now we're having a little bit more of like my world, and in the future we'll have our world, and that will be great. And I don't know, it's just, that's how I feel about it. And I'm really excited, but we have a vision of where we want to go. And that is kind of the plan as of right now. And you guys will know in about 2.5 years. So enjoy the wait. So that's number 5. That's number 5. So I'm really excited about that chapter, and we'll just kind of see where that goes. These are also all across the board. So we're going from like Brendan and vision with Brendan and where we're living to podcast. I wrote a really big goal here. Lexi's going to be like, good luck with that, bitch. But I have a vision with the podcast to take it really big. Here's the deal. I am a tired girl. Okay. I had a lot going on this year. I moved this year. And sometimes what happens when I don't own something fully is I don't put my full force in it. That's why I haven't outsourced content, because if I outsource content, I'm going to become a lazy bitch in my business. And it's the same thing with the podcast. I don't own the podcast or like run the podcast myself. Lexi owns it. And then I have my best friend, Caroline, my good business bestie, and she and Lexi own the podcast, which means that once I perform, share all my genius with you all, whatever you want to call it, I don't really touch it. And so because of that, it allows me to be fully disconnected from it, meaning I'm also not always as intentional with the results or the impact of it. And the podcast does fine. but it's also a lot of work. It's not that it's even expensive. It definitely is an expense, but it's a lot of work if I don't really take it to the level I want. Now, fun fact is our goal last year was that I could eventually maybe retire by the Blazer and that the podcast would do like $1 million a year. I don't exactly know how that was going to happen, but I was thinking that the podcast was going to become this big thing. And now I kind of go back and forth of like, do I want to travel and do shows and basically be like a page to Sorable? I don't know. Do I want to like monetize the podcast? Kind of, but then I'm also like, do I really want to do that? Like, I don't know if podcasting is like what I'm meant to do. So then I come into this place of like, the podcast is going to become 2 years old, 1 year old, whatever it's going to be. Is it 2 years old? 2 years old in August? Shit, wow. So if it's going to be 2 years old and it's not massively successful, does that mean that I should shut it down? Or does that mean that I'm being a pussy ass bitch and I should take it to the next level? That's where we're at. So I wrote down a goal with the podcast of getting 1 million downloads with the idea that I either crush that goal or I fail miserably. And I'm kind of okay with either because I know that I'm limited as a person and I can only do so much. And By the Blazer's crushing. We have another business. So I'm like, I don't know, that one, like, don't know I'm full force all in on, but that's okay because I want to share that with you. If like, I think I have to be intentional with, do I want to go all in on this or do I not? And that's okay, either one. Okay, number 7 has been on my vision board for my entire last 6 years, and I'm going to share it with you because it's not as tangible as some of the others, but I basically wrote down, I have clear skin and healthy hair. I basically went through puberty for the second time at 25, and I went through it through the third time at 30. I don't know, women, if you guys feel this, but like, these are new. Like, I don't know where these have come from, but I did not have these when I was 22, 23. Same with my ass. Kylie Jenner like shipped her booty in a FedEx package and shipped it to Chicago and put it on my butt. Actually, technically St. Louis because his butt arrived a couple years ago. I don't know where any of these curves have happened or come from. I don't like them. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know I have them. I don't understand. But I feel like as women, we go through like another round of puberty, like our entire body, our shape, our face, whatever changes like every 5 years. And when I was 25, I got acne for the first time. Like I had perfectly clear skin all through high school, never had any issues. I remember in college, like all my friends were struggling and like I would sleep in my makeup every day, no issue. And so I really struggled with my skin. I had to look nice every single day. And I also too like am very self-conscious about how pale I am because I don't know about you guys, the paley girlies, but when you're really pale, you just see everything, right? Like white. I have white all over my apartment. You see everything. And so for my best friend Lauren's wedding, I started spray tanning because she had light pink dresses. So I had to wear a light pink dress. So I spray tanned for it and I liked how I felt. So I started spray tanning, which that formula can be a little bit hard on my skin. So then I had to start figuring that out. But I did feel skinnier. I've been working out kind of ish. I've been walking every single day. Like I'm working on my overall health, but I've been better about my hair, especially since coming to Chicago. I'm starting to glaze it. I'm starting to be more intentional there. So like my hair journey has improved. I'm not like heating it up as much. My skin, I'm trying to take really good care of my skin. So for me, being like confident isn't really about my weight. It's genuinely about like my appearance, about how I feel. And I have been very, very intentional with my skin and hair. So I put that on there, not just to be like, you need to keep being intentional, but also just a reminder of like being clean, being healthy, and like taking care of my canvas is very important. So that is number 7. Number 8 is I work for myself, how I want and when I want. Shocker, I already do that. So why the fuck is it on your vision board? This is also something I put on my vision board to remind myself that like I am in the driver's seat. And if I operate from this pussy ass bitch energy of not owning that, like I am not going to have the year that I think I'm going to have. And for me, when I put that on my vision board, it's like, it's almost a reminder of I am so fucking privileged that like, if I don't want to do the podcast, I could text Lexi today. She's going to fucking wring my neck and be like, I'm done. I'm done with it. We're canceling it, done. And she has to do like, okay, I hate you. I'm pissed at you. I'm going to go bitch about you to all my friends. Just kidding. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. But she'd be done, right? Like we're done. If I want to fire a client, I could fire a client. Now, legally, I would have to follow a process with that, but I could do it. Like, I could change anything about my business at any time. I can work today. I cannot work today. Like, there's repercussions and implications of all these things, but like, I am in the driver's seat. So I need to own that. And for me, when I look at this on my vision board, it's just a reminder of like, choose to do my shit today the way that I want to do it. Show up the way that I want to do it. Like, run the business the way you want to do it. Because most people in life have to get dressed in an outfit that they don't want to wear. They get in a car that they probably don't want to drive, but they got because it's good gas mileage or it's better for their children or whatever. They go into work. They sit at a job that they don't really love. It might pay the bills. It might have days where they like it. They might love elements of the job, but they don't really love. They do that for 9 hours a day. They get back into the car that they don't really like, go back to the house that they would rather upgrade, but they can't because they're too busy doing fucking everything else. They go buy overpriced fucking groceries, and then they sit in their house and then they do all over again. And that is not my life. And if I don't fucking remind myself how grateful I am and how proud I am that I have something that a lot of people don't get to experience, like, then I fail and I suck and I am not going to be that person. So I put that right next to this beautiful red Porsche, which I never thought I would get a red car, but let me tell you, this red Porsche I saw, I got it and I was like, this is sexy. It looks really good. So I've been putting that right next to this red Porsche, have nothing to do with each other, but just a good reminder to be grateful. And also I'm in the driver's seat, so like, don't take advantage of that. Like, drive the fucking car the way that I want. So that's number 8. Number 9, I read a new book each month and prioritize learning. One of the things that I've been talking about in my business is that there's 3 stages of scaling a company. There's momentum stage, momentum plus structure, momentum, structure, innovation. That phase I don't talk about with a lot of business owners because most business owners never get there. They keep trying to sell when they need to be focusing on structure, or they keep trying to like build, but they need to focus on momentum. But like, when you get to the stage of innovation, you don't really scale because of the strategy you implement on the business. You really scale because of the way that you think and lead and like the way that you almost feed and fuel your brain. So one of the big things that's going to be important to me this year is, and I've already told Brendan about this, but every single night I want to read for at least 30 minutes. Right now I'm reading Harry Potter again because I have not read Harry Potter since probably high school. And I loved those books. And it's not even about reading something that like gives me a sales idea or is good for business. Like, I just want to read and get my brain in creative mode and feel energized and like good vibes. So I'm going to reread Harry Potter through January, February, and then I'm going to try to switch from like fiction to nonfiction and back and forth. So technically, yes, I'm going to read all 7 Harry Potter books and then switch, but that's fine. But I have a couple books that I'm really excited to read. I want to go back and read some of my sales books that I read back in my 20s that I haven't read in a while. So I'm just going to be in this state of like being curious, because I think curiosity leads to a lot of like new ideas, and innovation is a big focus of our business. So that's number 9. And then number 10, these really are all over the place, but that's okay. I wrote down that I want to have 1 million followers on social media. Here's the thing. I actually don't care about having 1 million followers on social media. What I actually care about the fact is that I relentlessly focus on visibility this year, which for the last 3 years I have not focused on. I started scaling because I was just consistent on TikTok. Then I started scaling because I'm really, really good at selling on Instagram. Then I got really good at scaling because I got good at retention. So everything's been focused on just sales. And this year we are going to keep that while also adding this next tier of like new visibility, new growth, new energy on social. And I like to put a number by things because that's just how my brain works. And we wrote down 1 million followers. That is quite the feat. We're about 200K between Instagram, all Instagram accounts, and then also TikTok. So can I grow by 800,000 followers in 3 years? I don't know, but I do think that that's kind of a fun goal because I'm very like fueled motivated, meaning like if I see something working or if I'm like in momentum mode, like I keep fueling it. Like I get really, really hungry, really, really motivated. And when I can see numbers and growth, that's kind of a driver. So I wrote down 1 million followers on social media. I don't know if that's how things are going to play out, but that's kind of where we're going. So that is the vision board. 10 things, some business focused, some personal focused. But I thought it was kind of fun to talk through this because instead of just being like, these are my goals, I'm so excited about it, I really wanted you guys to hear like why these things are my goals. Because again, when I look at them, it's not really about like achieving them because then I can say that I did it or it's like a win or like it's about really amount of money. I don't even really care about the amount of money, honestly. Like if it's this amount or this amount, like I'm going to be really grateful and really happy. But a lot of it is because in 3 years, I'm most likely looking for my forever home in a new city, which is terrifying. And I really want to do that right. And I want to do it right for my future and Brendan's future and our family and just like what we want. I really care about my experience with my clients and my business, not in a sense of like how much money I make, but like I want my clients to be really happy. I want my clients to have the best experiences. We're adding an event this year. I am financially responsible for my best friend's livelihood. So like I want to pay her well and have her have a really good, solid, balanced life. And I want like the growth of the business to be healthy and intentional, not just like fuel Ashley's bank account. Like that's fun and all, but like that's not the number one goal of the business. I want like our business and our brand's impact to grow, not just our income to grow. So there's a lot of like intention around these things that isn't just like, I want to be rich and successful and like buy nice cars. Like that's not really what my vision board is about this year. Like, yeah, I might have a yacht on here, but if you notice, I didn't write like buy a yacht. So that's the direction we're going in 2026. Now here's the deal. If you guys didn't know, because I already said it 87 times, it's the year of the Leo. Just kidding. If I say that one more time, Lexi's going to strangle me. So if I go missing, you know why. But I do actually feel a lot of sense of like new energy and purpose and clarity. And I think that, yeah, it's just gonna be a really great year. So if you guys have any big goals this year, if you wanna share them with me, I actually would really love to hear them. I'm like very nosy, like you guys are nosy Nancy's wanting to listen to this episode. I love knowing people's goals. I'd be curious if you have any questions about some of my goals or focuses or how I'm doing it. We are gonna be launching kind of a mini offer for Buy the Blazer that gives an insight on like how we scale businesses. If you guys are like, yeah, I would love to be depositing $30K into my investment accounts a month. I would love to have $200K cash months. Like if any of that kind of stuff is interesting to you, of course, always follow Buy the Blazer. Also make sure you're following my personal Instagram account as we will be announcing some new business stuff soon. But I just want to share that with you guys. It's also currently 11/11, which is so fucking wild. I swear this year is full of so much goodness. It's 11/11, make a fucking wish. And I will just leave the episode at that. I will see you guys next fucking week. Bye.